Jimenez, a mortgage broker with TMG, the mortgage group. Also, DJ Fortruck, a residential realtor who specializes in U.S. real estate, more particularly in Arizona. Okay, so if you guys have any questions later on and during the break, just give them a shout. All right. So, now before we begin, I wanted to mention to you guys what's the reason we invited the speaker for this evening. Well, first of all, she looks like she barely got out of medical school, yet she knows enough to have been doing this for a very long time. I know this for sure because I've seen her personal information. I mean, I deal with her financial affairs and corporate affairs and stuff. Okay? Now, Dr. Iyer won't allow me to tell you how long she's been practicing medicine. You know how women are, right? But what I can tell you is that she has consulted for people from United States, India, Egypt, London, and Nova Scotia. Which may be very well in another country, right? What I can also tell you is that Dr. Iyer has practiced traditional medicine and has now devoted her life to stop you from getting sick rather than fixing you when you're broken. Her expertise lies in restoring optimum performance. This field that she practices and her area is cutting edge and the latest and the best. In fact, she brings to all people and not just the rich and famous of Hollywood and the Fifth Avenue in New York. Finally, she also has been featured in all national TV stations, many of her radio shows across Canada and US, and is currently authoring her new book called Undiet, The Revolution. I'm going to let her talk to you guys about that later on. One of the key things, one of the reasons why we've actually done this today is a little bit of a story. One of my clients came to me about, I believe, 4 months ago, and he said about 4 of his friends has passed away from heart attack and ill health. And that to me is troubling because as a financial planner of Investors Group, we're doing and we're planning our clients' retirement so that they can enjoy a good retirement. But the problem is, what if you save all this money and you don't actually get there, right? So this is the reason why we're all here today. Obviously, we're going to be listening with regards to the health and industries and all that. So without further ado, please welcome Dr. Natasha Iyer.
Thank you, Fred. So actually, I've been helping people, like Fred said, for about 75 years now. And if you ask my 8-year-old, I'm 25. Although he'll quickly correct me in public when it's most uncalled for. My first 12 years in medicine were actually very traditional, conventional style of medicine, helping and treating heart attacks, pneumonias, all these things. I did emergency medicine, I did palliative care. I did a whole pile of years in the hospital looking after sick people. And the one thing I found was it was really out of alignment what I was doing and what I actually chose my path in medicine for. I was stopping people from not being sick anymore. I certainly wasn't helping them be fully healthy, living a life powerfully, passionately, and joyfully as if they were in optimal health. I was failing miserably at doing that. And by a whole bunch of events that happened in my personal life, I found an avenue in medicine that was almost unheard of. Now, I kind of suspected it existed because there were all these famous people on TV looking 20 years younger, and they obviously didn't have plastic surgery. So what were they doing that was different from everybody else? What are they doing? And had it to do with how much money they had? Or could it be something else? My own health took a real turn for the worse. I was burning out, stressed out. Can anyone relate to that? Overweight. I was effed, actually. Fed up and frustrated at being fatigued, fat, frazzled. Anyone know what those things are? Raise your hand if you've ever been fatigued, fat, frazzled, foggy, forgetful. Thank you. So at least I'm not alone in this, right? So So I had all these health issues, and my doctor told me I was depressed. Has anyone been to the doctor saying, I don't feel really good, I know something's wrong, and they tell you, well, Fred, your tests are all normal. Anyone had that experience? Yeah. So it led me to have to find a different solution for myself and for my patients. So that's just a little bit about how I got out of traditional medicine and the practice thereof, the writing of prescriptions, and more about helping people with their lives and restoring it back to best. Now, is there anyone in the room, raise your hand if there is, who knows someone who's had a heart attack, survived a heart attack? Keep your hands up, please. Is there anyone in the room who knows someone who survived cancer? Keep your hands up, please. Now, I want you to look around the room and notice how many hands are up in the air. That's almost everyone in this room. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that shocking? Isn't that a terrible statistic that almost every single one of you knows someone who's had something earth-shattering happen to them? And rarely do survivors of heart attacks and cancer ever return back to normal function. Have you noticed this? They have some adverse or ill effect from the disease. And we have all these campaigns that are focused on what? Curing it. Hell, do you cure your car after, or do you service it when the brake light goes on? Pardon me, did I say healthy? But really, what is this? Why are we so focused on all these fixing things after they're broken, but we're doing nothing to prevent it? And it's why we're so honored to share the stage with Diamond, who's all about preventing something that is life-threatening and earth-shattering. Now, how many of you actually stopped and thought that that could be you? No, because everybody thinks that you're invincible. That's going to happen to everybody else, yes? Because you're invincible, yes? You're saving for your retirement, so I think you assume you're going to be there. Raise your hand if you're saving for your retirement. Raise your hand if you're planning to have a future to live into. Thank you. So that's why I'm here tonight, because I want to talk about all these things that are happening around us, and why, and what you can do about it. Would anybody be interested in finding out some simple, easy, day-to-day steps that you can change the odds? Perfect. Just those of you? Okay, well, how about you guys just come sit here and I'll chat with you. Would anybody be interested in finding out some really simple, easy steps? Thank you. Before I go into sharing these steps with you, because they're very simple, very easy, but probably your doctor doesn't even know about it because he's too busy writing prescriptions, seeing 8 people an hour. I used to do that. And hasn't had time to read the current research. One of which says that 1 out of every 2 people that has a heart attack have normal cholesterol. How many of you knew that? Turn around. Look at the hands that are up. That's very few of you. The rest of you are following doctor's advice and lowering your cholesterol by taking statin drugs. And all the people that you know that had heart attacks and have never come back to normal function have drug side effects. One of the things I promised you tonight is to share with you what's happening with drugs and why they keep you alive, but miserably. Like how many of you know that your chances of living to age 80 are pretty damn good? Right, with the changes and advances in modern medicine, you're going to be there. The question is, how are you going to be there? You're going to sit drooling in a wheelchair, having someone change your diaper? Someone wipe your bum? Because that's the chances if you get to age 80 and you don't do anything different from today. But there's 2 things I want to do before I get into this. The first one is to thank all of you for being here. Because time is so precious. How many of you would agree that time is more precious than money? Perfect, I think so too. Because money you can get back, but once time's gone, it's gone. And so I want to make sure that your time tonight is spent valuably. That you get something out of it for making time to be here with me. So how do I make this relevant for you? Now some of you came because Fred told you I was going to talk about a few things, and I will talk about those things. But let's talk about goals. Let's talk about what would be important to you. How many of you are up to big things? Have big plans? Looking forward to things? So in the next 3 to 5 years, what kind of things are you guys looking forward to doing?
Travel.
Travel, that's always a big one. What else? Moving to Maui, how cool is that? You kind of need to be healthy though, right? Because you can't walk on the beach if you have no legs. Yeah. My grandma lost her legs to diabetes at the age of 72, prior to which she was keeping a 5-bedroom house, entertaining, traveling, had a heart attack, diabetes, lost both her legs, and spent the last 3 years having someone wipe her bum and change her diapers. So it happens, it's real, and it could happen to you. So you want to travel, you want to go to new places, so it falls into travel. Anything else you guys are up to? Dave?
Climbing the 7 summits.
Climbing. So how about, can I put that as being active?
Absolutely.
Active in whatever. Yeah, Dave's a mountain climber. I mean, I know him. Anyone else up to anything? And what are you looking forward to? For those of you who said you're retired, what are you going to do? Just stay home and chill out? No? So like what? What can I put on this list?
Take my kids golfing some exotic place.
Kids
And grandkids.
and grandkids. How many of you really have this as a mission and like something that's really important to you? To be with your kids, to be with your grandkids, to make sure that what you're doing and working for. So there's many of you, like more than half of the people in this room are focused on their family. Now I worked in elder care. The waiting list is 2 years in Calgary. So if you're planning to get sick, make sure you have 2 years before you can get your bed there. See, that's how bad it is. That's how sick people are getting in this world around us. We want to pretend like we're going to wait until that happens and then try to fix it. But we have all these plans. Can you imagine being in, having multiple zeros in your bank account or having all this retirement money and then sitting in a nursing home? How do you get to be with your kids? How do you get to travel? What's the point of all of this? That's what Fred said to me. He said, what's the point of me helping people make all this money? And trust me, he helps you make a whole pile of money. Anything else important to you? Donna?
I have miles to go before I sleep. There are things I just need to do.
Change the world. Make an impact.
Make my books.
Make a difference. How many want to make a difference to lives? Like whether it's your kids' lives, whether it's your parents' lives, whether it's in the people that work with, something, right? So you want to make an impact. So that's why all of you are here, and so your time would be wasted if I didn't give you some tools with which you could get there. Yes? So the second thing I want to do is thank Fred, because I wouldn't be here with you tonight if it weren't for Fred and his team. And the thing I know about Fred is he's not just like, I've had advisors before. What I know is he actually builds relationships, he cares about his clients. Anybody here are clients of Fred's? Okay, so then you know what he's all about. He's really onto something when he says, what's the point? What's the point of doing what I do if people don't have the skills? He's not even said. If they're not even going to get there, why do I have to do what I do? I wrote some statistics for you. I'm lost in a small space, can you tell me? 1 in 7 Canadians die of a heart attack. In the day and age of media, drugs that lower your cholesterol, in the day and age of Becel, margarine, and whatever the hell, they're telling you is healthy for you. Is it okay if I just speak like I normally speak? My kids aren't here.
Please.
Thank you. 4 out of 10 men in North America and 3 out of 10 women will be be disabled or die before retirement. So hopefully now we'll be able to have a good active conversation about what we want to do next. And if you don't know Fred, you must know Fred, because you're going to have all this information at your fingertips. You're going to have all these goals and dreams, and he can help you have more money so that you can do more stuff. Wouldn't that be cool? So I'll just tell you quickly. Was anyone affected when the market crashed in about 2008, 2009? Really? That's it? Everybody was. Just look at your RRSPs or whatever you had in the bank or whatever. It was down. And I was devastated because I only contributed for about 6 or 7 years of my career and then had other things to do and thought I would do something later. I woke up one day, looked at the numbers, and I thought, shit, it's down 30%. And somebody knew Fred, and in the last 1 year, I've gained 10% of my losses. So my money has grown by 10%. I couldn't do that at the Royal Bank. I thought they knew what they were doing with money, but apparently they know how to take it, not help you make it. This guy knows how to make it. How do you do that, Fred? Should I give you the mic?
Well, I do have.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. Well, the keep this building wealth is really it's a paradigm shift, because according to our government, 80% of the population of this country will run out of money when they retire. So what needs to happen in order for us to build a successful retirement, it's a paradigm shift. Obviously, we cannot follow the masses. So what needs to happen is we need to have an integration of investments with taxes and corporate taxes. That's how you build wealth, because interestingly enough, the government taxed majority of Calgarian 39%. So if we can actually tap into how to save money in taxes and incorporate that with your investments, that's how you build wealth. Remember, the stock market is not guaranteed, but the government guarantees that they'll give you a certain amount of money depending if you do the strategies right. That's how we do it.
You know, it's so complicated that I just leave it to you and thank you. I do what I do, he does what he does, right? And so you now know 2 people who know what they're doing, you hope. Well, I'm vouching for Fred. You know, I thanked you for your time, and I thanked you and I said, I want this to be valuable for you. Have any of you noticed the time waits for no one? You know, at one moment I had 1 kid, suddenly I have 2, and they're going to be 6 and 9 in a couple months. And I look at my dad, and suddenly he's 66, and I haven't spent enough time with him because I've been so busy doing stuff. So when it comes to your health, how many of you have had health goals? Raise your hands, please. Now, keep your hands up, please. Stand up if you're actively doing everything in your power to get there. We'll see. So, just from all of you standing, what kind of stuff are you doing?
Oh, I have a whole regime that
Yeah, but just name some of the things.
I'm with USAN Health Sciences, so I take the #1 supplement in the world, and I do it religiously, and I do all the fitness and the walking and the sleep and the meditation and the yoga and all of the things that I have in my regime.
Okay. Could you feel any better than you do right now?
So
Okay. So you feel as good as the best times in your life before?
I have everything, so thanks.
Fantastic. Okay, but you know, the rest of you, what are you doing?
Changing diet to help your diet? Or
Okay,
eating healthy?
so diet's missing in this one. Okay? I think diet's a dirty word actually, but I'll tell you more later.
I'm doing it with it,
Nutrition, yeah. And what else?
working with a naturopathic doctor.
So natural focus, natural balance. Okay, anything else? are other things you can add, or do you think that this is the be-all and end-all? Mind.
Yeah, then, avoiding stress.
Avoiding stress, I like that one. Well, that's the area I work in, so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Just have a positive attitude.
Okay.
Gratitude.
So shall we put attitude, gratitude, fun, and stress all under mind?
Laughter.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about mindset today. We're going to talk about the mindset of health. Now you all have no paper and pen in front of you. Tell me some of the areas that you would like to feel better in. So it could be the area of energy, it might be sleep, it might be metabolism, it might be mood, memory. Tell me some of the things that are interesting to you. All of the above. Sex drive. I don't know what I know about sex drive. You said that everything was perfect. It could be better. It could always be better, right? So that's the point I'm trying to make to you all. We all get to a point where we think we're great until you feel better. Now imagine this. Imagine for a moment. Close your eyes. And imagine if you had all this wisdom, the financial resources that you have today, the maturity and wisdom, and you had all the energy, vitality, performance of your 20s and 30s. What would that be like? Cool? That'd be cool? How do you think that would be really cool? Thank you. So the thing is, I'm trying to get you to engage actively with me, so I know you're awake. I know this is meaningful to you, and I know you're going to get something out of it because it's called accelerated learning techniques. And what it does is it invites your participation. It invites you to say something or think something or do something, because memory is made best when you integrate multiple parts of your nervous system. And so when I'm encouraging you to say something, shout something out, I'll invite you to get the best out of this and to make sure you remember the most out of it, to actually do that. So maybe what we'll do before we go back to that list is just stand up and do a little bit of a shake. I feel everybody getting a bit tired. Just gonna stand up and shake your shoulders or jumping on whatever it is. How do we just do and I'm in 4-inch heels to do that? How did I? I hope you didn't get that on camera, but I'm pretty well protected here. Okay, thank you. Right? So what areas do you want to be better in? Tell me. Exactly what you, not me. What could you be better in? Sex? We said sex. Okay, yeah. I like that. Someone who's not shy. Usually people wait for me to bring it up and they go, oh yeah, I really want to know about that. So I'm not shy.
Stress management.
Stress management, okay. What else?
Energy.
Energy. Someone said stamina? So stamina. Sleep. What else?
Flexibility for the sex drive.
Flexibility for the sex drive. Okay, so that's all fitness. That's all fitness.
And stamina.
Yeah, we got the stamina. So see, once you get it all, it'll be actually really a whole lot better. Okay? Weight man, so metabolism, right? See, I have this thing. I said diet's a dirty word because we all think of diet and then, you know, whatever comes with that. So nutrition and fueling. And when you say weight, have you got a problem with your blood, bones, and hair, skin, and nails? Because that has weight to it too, right? See, I have a problem with fat. It's a whole mindset. People are polite, so they don't want to talk about fat. But I'm saying to you, you got a problem with fat. It's stuck on you and it won't go anywhere. Weight is not your problem. And having a metabolism is going to help you burn fat and not lose it. See, I lost a pair of earrings. My husband's not very romantic, and once every 5 years he has a spark and he does something, and I lost these earrings. I tell you, every single day I'm in my bedroom, I'm looking for them. If I open a drawer, I'm like, will I find it? Is it going to be here? So why don't you want to lose weight and then find it? You know when you lose something, you plan to find it again, right? And you know what the problem with weight is? When you lose it, it finds you and it brings friends with it. Right? I should be looking at somebody else, but sorry, I picked on you.
That's okay.
Thank you, you're a bit smart. So your problem's not weight, it's fat, and the solution to that is metabolism. So you're going to draw a triangle on a piece of paper because you have it in front of you. It's a nice triangle. And in that triangle, you're going to write all the things that are important to you. So from that list we created, is it energy, metabolism, mood, memory, stamina, endurance, metabolism, whatever it is that's important to you, write it in the triangle. And I'm going to write one word that means all of that. Better. Because we all want to be better in some area of our lives, no matter how good we feel. We all can be better, whether it's finances, whether it's sleep, whether it's sex drive, whether it's whatever, right? Would you agree with that? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you. But you see, in conventional medicine, all I learned about was this physical body of ours, right? And I thought that that was the be-all and the end-all of health. But actually, I didn't know shit about health when I was in my first 12 years of medicine. I knew how to write a prescription. I knew how to make a fantastic diagnosis. That's all I was. I wasn't a real healthcare practitioner. Because I didn't keep anyone healthy. I stopped them from being sick, but I didn't help them be healthy. Because there's a big difference. Would you agree with me? Big difference between not being sick and being healthy. Thank you. And so half of these things here are for your physical body. Yeah? See how you're good at taking care of your physical body. And then the area that I work in and am most noted for is the area of hormone rebalancing. Does anyone know what a hormone is? Tell me, somebody, Shauna.
Estrogen is one.
Estrogen's a hormone. Name some others. Cortisol, testosterone, melatonin. Okay, thank you. Well, why do you need hormones? What do they do?
Biochemical
Oh, smarty pants.
in your body that regulates something, does something to function.
Thank you. So hormones are little chemical messengers that regulate functions in your body. What kind of functions do you think they regulate? A lot of stuff.
All the things we've been talking about.
Okay?
Stamina, sex drive,
Yeah.
sleep.
Heart rate.
Heart rate, blood pressure, blood sugar, sex drive, mood, memory, appetite. All of those things, your energy, your endurance, your stamina. Can't have any of that without hormones being balanced. So Fred said she's going to share with you some of the things that even your own doctor doesn't know, and I'll tell you, your own doctor doesn't know because I didn't know. I learned about hormones in med school, but for 23 years I've been working with patients, in total of being, undergrad, postgrad, all the work with patients, 23 years. I'm only 25, so I went to med school at age 2. 23 years, I never needed to know all that. Learned it and didn't need to know it. Because there's a pill for everything. Why would you have to learn about rebalancing something that's integral to being alive? Do you need a blood pressure and a blood sugar to be alive? Of course you do. You live just fine without sex. You'd be so miserable you wish you were dead, but you live just fine without sex. But we all talk about testosterone and estrogen first when we talk about hormones. As doctors, we'll write out estrogen, progesterone, and now testosterone is becoming the new thing for people to write. But can a man live without testosterone when his testicles are removed from cancer? Of course he can. Can a woman live without estrogen when she gets her ovaries removed? Of course she can. They're so miserable they want to kill someone. But they live just fine. And yet there are hormones that keep you alive. Cortisol, thyroid, insulin. You heard of these? These are vital to how you feel and how you live. And in medicine, we don't pay any attention until you're diabetic, and then we'll give you some. Because it's cool, right? When something's broken, we'll give you a pill and fix it. We hope. But people come to me for hormones, right? So Oprah did this big show. Everybody of you saw something for hormones on Oprah? Or Suzanne Summers, or Dr. Christiane Northrup, or Dr. Phil. Deepak Chopra is talking about it. Wayne Dyer is talking about it. All kinds of people are talking about hormones. So you get this flood of people coming to me because, they Google, something about hormones, and my name comes up. And they come in and they go, give me a prescription for hormones. That's what's going to help me. That's what's going to change everything for me. It's going to save me. And see, Oprah did a really nasty thing. She chose a Canadian woman, put her on the show. And this woman was all frazzled, her hair was all over the place, she was crying and miserable and couldn't even get along with her family, and life sucked. And then they show her on the stage in a little mini skirt, and her hair is all beautiful, and she's so happy because, these bioidentical hormones changed her life. So I got all these people coming to me, I want hormones. Well, let me tell you this. Hormones aren't going to save your life. They're not going to change it. They're not going to do shit for you if you don't know what I'm about to share with you next. Does anyone want to know? Just you guys? Okay, you come up here. Everybody else go have some tea and coffee outside. Would you like to know?
Yes.
Thank you. So there's this nutritional, biochemical, hormonal aspect of having everything that you want to do everything that you want, right? This is what you want to have inside your triangle to do that first list that you made, the travel, the time with the kids, the moving to Maui, all that stuff that you have hopes and is there anyone here who has hopes and dreams for their future? Okay, so that you know that you need hormonal balance to be able to do that. But hormones don't work by themselves because I said to you, they're chemical messengers that control every function in your body. Now, even if you didn't do chemistry beyond high school, you know that for a chemical reaction to work, it takes stuff. Yeah? Like you need this stuff and that stuff to get together, go shh, and give you that stuff. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Okay, cool, because you need ingredients. It's like baking a cake. You got to put everything together in the right quantities so that the cake rises nice and fluffy. Otherwise, you have a flat cake, and no one wants that. Well, some people might, but not me. Not nice fluffy cakes, right? And so people don't know that their biochemistry and their entire nutritional status of their whole body matter. And you have, the health food industry is a billion-dollar, multi-billion-dollar industry. You know this, right? All the baby boomers spending hundreds and thousands of dollars a month on all these pills, all these magical supplements that are going to transform your life and make you younger and stop your telomeres from shortening. And you guys heard any of this stuff? You know what I'm talking about. I take pills. Really, I do. I take supplements. I'm nothing against them. But what I'm against is everybody thinking that there's one magic pill, one solution that's going to do everything. So let me tell you this, you want a better metabolism and you want to get rid of some fat, there's no one thing that's going to do it. That's why diets don't work. That's why they fail miserably. That's why popping a pill and a supplement doesn't transform your life miraculously. That's why going to a doctor and getting hormones doesn't change anything. And you're not like this lovely woman on Oprah having this fantastic life and result. But what they didn't tell you was there was a 3-month gap between the time she had that video made when she was in Canada and the time she got onto the stage at Oprah in the United States. And they forgot to mention that she had to do a whole bunch of other stuff in between. It's like trying to climb a ladder and start at the top rung. Did you get that? Trying to bake a cake with one ingredient. Think about your body as a fine car. I like Lamborghinis, okay? Anybody here like Lamborghinis? Alright, so just play with me. Your body's the Lamborghini. What kind of gas would you put in it? The best? Thank you. Anybody here eat pretzels or chips or French fries ever? Oh, come on, be honest here. Come on, like you don't eat cookies, you eat bread and sandwiches. Well, let me tell you, that's shit in a Lamborghini. But you want results. Now, how do you get your fuel to the engine of the Lamborghini?
Fuel injection.
Fuel injection, but you don't put it in the tank, right? I don't know much about cars. I got married because I know so little about cars. But anyway, don't tell my husband I said that I like it. You put it in the tank, and from the tank it gets somewhere to be fuel injected, right? What is that?
Carburetor.
The gas line and then the carburetor. That much I know. So imagine here we have gas going into the Lamborghini. So the gas is the nutrients you put into your body, yes? And we just said some of you are putting shit in the Lamborghini and expecting it to drive at top speed. I'm not offending anyone, am I? You guys all too polite for my passionate expression of how I feel. Now when you get somebody said carburetor, I know that there are filters in a car. Somewhere. Yeah? Because the fuel has to sort of be cleaned before it gets to the engine? Yeah? Alright, so here we have a filter. Let me change the color here. Okay, so we put the gas in, goes through the filter, and now it gets to the engine, and then the car can drive at top speed. Because we're going to buy a Lamborghini, we're going to drive it at 30 k's an hour on the highway, right? But you put shit in it, it's going to go at 30 and you're stepping on the pedal and like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why aren't you driving? Aren't you doing that to your body? Aren't you wondering why your energy isn't where it's supposed to be when you wake up? Aren't you wondering what happened at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when you need the Starbucks? Do you know why Starbucks exists? Yeah, but I'm going to tell you how to not use Starbucks very soon. So what part of your body would be the filter?
The liver.
Liver, thank you. But everybody wants hormones. And everybody wants all these pills and these quick fixes and these magic lotions and potions and gadgets and it's supposed to miraculously make you 20 years younger. You heard all this crap advertising, right? Oh, by the way, they also tell you to eat Cheerios and eat Becel margarine, and you're believing that crap too? Okay? Well, I'm with a big group of people, but you came because of me. See, the people that I get to see are actually people who are trying to find solutions. And they're so close to it, but there's something missing. Have you noticed all the stuff they're doing? If you go in a room of regular people, just go outside, on Memorial Drive, pull over all the cars you come across, bring all those people into the room, all of them are eating margarine and sandwiches. They're not doing the stuff that you're doing. You're here because you're so close. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You're working with the naturopaths, you're eating healthy, you're doing all this stuff, but you know something could be better. Yes? And that something is that you can put whatever you want in your body. You can do whatever you want. If you have a cruddy gas line and a tank with holes in it and no filter that's working properly, your car ain't going anywhere for very long. Do you get that? And so your gas line is called your gut. That part of your body from the time you put something here till it leaves you. And integral to that gut is your liver. And if you want to feel better in any or every area of your life, even your financial life, because when your gut's not healthy, you're not healthy. And then you can't go out and work harder and do more and make more. Or think clearly or whatever. Here's something else your doctor doesn't know. Well, let's see how many of you know. Where's your brain chemistry made? I said if you want to think more clearly, quicker, have more brain power to do more, have more, whatever. But that would take brain chemistry, right? So where does all that stuff happen? In your brain, yeah, duh, brain chemistry in your brain. Wrong. 70% of your serotonin, which is your happy, feel-good hormone, is made in your gut. And most of you don't even go poop every day, but you think you're just fine. When I was in med school, they taught me that it's okay. If you go once a week, that's okay. If that's normal for you, that's normal. Bullshit! Pardon the pun. Guess what your poop is? Toxins and all that stuff. Most of it's actually dead bacteria. The bulk of your poop is dead bacteria. But if you're not pooping every day, you're not sending out all the toxins and stuff that's making you sick and effed. Fatigue, toxicity. Fat, toxicity. Frazzled, toxicity. Foggy and forgetful, toxicity. You'd better have a healthy liver cleaning out all your fuel if you want to drive that car at top speed. But when they sell you all those jars of pills at the health food store or whoever's trying to get you to pop pills, are they telling you all this? Are they checking if you're pooping? How many you poop? Let's just check. Anybody here not poop? Okay. But how many of you get up every day and think that that's going to be something you're going to pay attention to? Probably because you've had a problem with it before. Something you do. You get up maybe or whatever in the middle of, I don't know when you poop, but pooping is normal, right? So we can talk about this. Something as simple and as basic as that is going to change your life. If you don't poop twice a day, go focus on pooping twice a day, do all the stuff you should be doing, and don't pop pills. Like, go eat the fiber. Go drink the water. Go do the yoga and the exercise. And watch how your health and your vitality change when you start to put good, clean fuel in your tank instead of crap. The crap comes out the other end, not in here. Make sense? Some people might have found that funny. I didn't even realize what I was saying, but I think you guys need to wake up to that. All right. Are you learning anything new? Yeah. Who has an aha that they want to share with everyone? Like something that you just never thought of before, and now it came to you like, whoa. Anyone? Well, they didn't learn anything new. Well, thank you. Somebody was paying attention. You come sit up here with me.
I'm surprised that the liver is that important. I didn't know that it was that important and vital to that point.
Your liver is about the most important thing, next to pooping. Thank you.
I know someone who recently got their gallbladder removed, and I've seen how negatively that's affected her life. And just learning how even the liver, your gut works on your brain chemistry, I can understand how it would affect every other part, a little.
Your gut has a direct neural connection to your brain that is independent of the rest of your nervous system. How many of you knew that? It's called the second brain, right? Why is that important? Because when you're frazzled and foggy and you're looking for some pill to pop, think, is it what I'm eating? Did you know that you can affect your mood positively and, more importantly, negatively by what food you put into your body? Did you know this? What do you do about it, though? That's the big question. See, how many of you set New Year's resolutions? How many of you gave up setting resolutions? Like, how many of you just said, yeah, that doesn't work, I just Okay, so what you just proved is that everybody's a master at setting a goal, but they fail miserably at achieving the goal, so they stop doing it. Does that make sense? But let me ask you this. Why not stop and think about, why didn't I achieve the goal? Every time I set a goal and I don't achieve it, why would I stop setting instead of looking at how can I achieve it? Kind of a novel idea, isn't that? Like, who would have thought of that? This is a whole different realm in the field of psychology between goal setting and goal achieving. And when you work with us at the clinic, we actually start there. He came to a workshop at 7 o'clock in the morning to go through that. That's commitments to making a difference. What's missing to complete the triangle?
Mental.
Sleep comes under this, right? So your mental, emotional, spiritual. Wrong color. Your mental, emotional, spiritual. Right? And if you notice that to have a triangle that's balanced, which would be when you feel your best, all three sides need to be looked after and they're equal. It's supposed to be an equilateral triangle. Just remember, I went to medical school, not art school. So how can we focus on health by taking pills only? How can we focus on health by exercising only? How can we focus on being better and achieving everything that we want to achieve by taking pills and eating well only? So do you see why I say there's no one thing that's going to make you better in every area of your life? That everything is connected to everything else. And it takes a step-by-step approach to feeling and living your best. Does that make sense? So if you're looking for quick fixes when you work with us, ain't gonna happen. I just told a girl today, I said, sorry, probably 3 to 6 months before you see a difference in how you feel, but that's not what she wanted to hear, so she was pretty upset at me. And I said, sweetheart, how many times have you been on a diet before? Multiple times. She's 26 years old and I've tried about 7 different diets already. So how about we start doing something different this time? Might that be a place we can start? Then she had a list of all the failures she had. Like, oh, I didn't get to start doing this, and I didn't do that, and I came to your workshop, and I didn't do this and this and this, and the next day that. And I said, but what you have done? And she started having green smoothies every morning. She's walking every day. These are things she wasn't doing 2 months before. So I said, how about you be excited for the progress you have made? How about you be in your state of gratitude for what you have managed to do? And then choose each step, building on the next one. You see, one of the things I see in our clinic is that people take on too much all at the same time. They try to build a house and start with the walls and roof. You haven't laid a good foundation. Does that make sense? So write this down. Whatever you do, whatever goal you set for your health and your future, do it one simple step at a time. something that your brain can handle, something that your daily life can handle, and then move to the next thing. Don't do everything at once. It's probably not going to last you when you stop making resolutions. Yeah? A patient sent me an email this morning of something I should read to you, because he heard I was speaking, he couldn't be here, and he wanted me to tell you something. And I was going to do that now, but I think we should just make sure I've covered what Fred and I promised you before I read you that. So we said, what is the real cause of a heart attack if it has nothing to do with how high or low your cholesterol is? Not nothing. Cholesterol can't, but it's a process of inflammation that takes the cholesterol and plugs up your vessels. So if you didn't have inflammation, you could not make diabetes or heart attacks or cancer or Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or whatever it is, right? You just couldn't do it. Does that make sense? That's why it's a whole bunch of baloney when people tell you to eat low fat. Current research shows that there's nothing wrong with eating fat at all. In fact, they fed people beef 4 times a day, and these guys' cholesterol went down. Meat, beef. And most people will tell you that that's not a good fat. Have you learned something new so far? It's a whole new way of looking at life and health. And it starts with being informed of the most current research and information. If you don't have inflammation, you can't take cholesterol and make it into a plaque that will plug up your heart and give you a heart attack. It's as simple as that. But how many of your doctors are teaching you how to avoid inflammation? How to lower your inflammation? No, but they'll give you a statin drug. When you work with us, we teach you all that. I have a really, really sad story. I'm so determined to help people be better. In the last 7 years, I've, through trial and error and seeing what works and what doesn't work, I created a process that we have at the clinic that every step in the process has to do with this triangle. That's why I told you about this, because you need to know this. Whether you work with me or not, you need to know this. We have a psychologist and hypnotherapy to help you with mindset, relaxation. We refer out for meditation, for yoga. We have a physical fitness person on site who will assess your body, the same body that has to take your groceries, pick you up off the toilet, get you to wipe your bum, drive your car. You know that body that you want to do all these things with and get to all those goals? That body needs to be looked after from when? When? Today! You know we said time waits for no one? What the hell are you waiting for if you're not going to the gym or taking a walk or exercising every day? How are you going to live into that future? What are you waiting for? Well, when you work with us, we get it to you in 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, but we'll tell you what your current state of health is and what you need to do to get it to where you want it to be. Because you want this vehicle to drive you into your future. Your Lamborghini is actually just going to drive you into your future, yes? We have an acupuncturist and doctor of Chinese medicine because they are the masters at non-medicine medicine. They'll help you sleep. They'll take away your pain. They'll take away your anxiety, your PMS, your whatever. Without drugs. Drugs that plug up your liver and make you more sick than you already are. We have 3 different naturopathic physicians on our team. Why? See, I haven't done regular medicine in so long. I mean, I know the basics. But there's lots of stuff I don't know. I've specialized highly in my field of hormone rebalancing. I know a whole pile about that. Just like that, in naturopathic medicine, each person needs to know some different part of you to help you be your best and get you back to best balance. And so through our process, you get education first. And you have to come to the education parts before you get to the assessment part. Shauna, you had blood work done. How many tubes of blood did you get done your first time?
14 or 15 vials.
15 vials. How many do you usually get from a physical at your doctor's office?
4.
4? Yeah. Why would I do that? Why would I traumatize her and have her go get 14 tubes of blood on her first visit? Because I need to understand her biochemistry. Hormones function as chemical messengers that make a chemical reaction. If you have a sick, toxic, or abnormal biochemistry, your hormones can't work whether you have them or I give them to you. Let me say that again. Whether you have hormones that you make or whether I give them to you, you will get no result if you have a toxic biochemistry and an inadequate nutritional milieu in your body. And then you wonder why things don't work. But your liver cleans out all the toxins. But your liver is bombarded with 80,000 more toxins and chemicals in the environment today than there were 50 years ago. And if I asked you all 50 years ago, how many of you know someone who survived a heart attack or cancer, none of you would have raised your hand. Not that they all died before they got to survive it, but it wasn't happening to that extent. And so we're looking in the wrong places for the solution. I start with looking at your biochemistry. What's going on? Have you got hormones? Can you use them? What about all your vitamins and minerals and nutrients and everything that's going on in your body that your body needs to work better? And each of my naturopaths is skilled in a different area of your biochemistry and your nutritional status. And that's why we have a team, because as much as I know and as good as I am at what I do, you are a person of multiple facets. And hormones by themselves ain't going to help you by themselves. Does that make sense? So the sad story first, and then I'll tell you about Richard. I had a patient. I'm very attached to her because of her story. And I feel like I failed her. And yet, for all the coaching I do and how much I know this had nothing to do with me. She came to me and said, my husband's really sick, I think he's going to die. And I really want you to see him because I know you can help him. You've helped me so much. You've helped me, she had weight issues and fatigue and all these things, and she wasn't coping. They had 5 kids, 1 and then 2 sets of twins. So 5 kids. And she said, I need him. I really love him. I want to be with him. And I know he's going to die. Like, he is so stressed. They have their own business, car business and that kind of thing. And she said, he's so stressed. He is different. He's not healthy. And I want you to help him. And I said, Nellie, I can't help anyone that doesn't want to participate with me. You can't make him come, and I can't make him do anything. And she begged and pleaded for me to change how I do things. And I just told you, it took me 7 years to perfect this process. And it's a long, lengthy, arduous process, but people get results. How long does it take people to start feeling better when they come to us?
Some write for about 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, and they haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah. So before they even get their hormones, within 3 to 7 days, people are feeling better in many areas. And the average person will feel 60% better within their first 3 months with us. That's huge if it's taken you your whole life to get to the point of wanting something done. And so Nellie says, see him, but change your process. And I said, I have my process and I'm stuck on my ways because this is what it takes. See, people have to come to a 2-hour workshop with me before I'll see them. A couple of reasons. They need the education to understand how I do things and why it works and why I have to do the things I ask. And secondly, if you can't give me 2 hours of your time, how the hell are you going to make time for all the other things you're going to have to do on your own because I can't come home with you? And so it's a test. It's a test to see who's really committed and who's going to waste my time. And I'm not into wasting my time or yours or anybody else's. And so I have a process. And she said, please, I'm begging you. She cried. She said, think of my children, blah, blah, blah. and I wrote her a form, and I gave her the new patient lab requisition without him coming into the clinic. And then I didn't see her for maybe a year and a bit. He died. He died at 47 years old, leaving 5 children and a woman who has not recovered yet. But the moral of the story is not that I'm upset or failed him. How sad is that? That someone could have taken the steps to make a difference to their life and be here for the people